Hi, you guys. So I'm briefly going to be talking about, or I don't know how long I'll take, the story of the missing student Sudiksha Konanki in the Dominican Republic. And I feel bad about her story. It's before it got big, of course I noticed it because she's Indian. And I enjoy my Indian girls, of course. And my take on the story after seeing some professional, high quality, news related clips of it is that he was involved with her death. He's not, the Joshua guy, he's not telling everything. Of course, he's hiding because he doesn't want to be prosecuted and go to jail. But he's hiding from us what really happened. And it's all in his own selfishness. And he does not look like an honest person to me. He looks like no one that you could trust. She didn't know him at all. It's not dangerous to meet guys you don't know. Unless you are kind of psychic, like my family my parents have always thought I was a psychic baby since I was really small. I would know everything. So they thought that I was psychic since I was a small kid. And growing up in a Christian family, it's a gift from God, I'm going to say it like that. But it does scare people when I know a lot about them and I don't know them. Sometimes, but I don't think I scare that many people. More people are not scared of it. They think it's cool. But, I kind of keep it low key. I don't tell everybody. If I first meet someone, of course I want to tell them, hey, I had a dream about you. You have this career. You have this going on with your life. And then I really want to come at people like that. Because that happened with this one guy. No, he's mixed race. I'm not going to say his race too much. But I just don't want to get too personal in my own life. It's not about that right now. But I knew tons of details about him before he even came. And I wanted to tell him, hey, I knew all this about you before you came. But I don't want it to be weird, that I know so much about strangers before they come. I think it can be kind of awkward. So I kept it to myself. But he confirmed everything I knew about him before he came. And I knew he was I knew what location he was at before he came. I saw him coming and it was crazy. It was so accurate, And I think he wouldn't have been scared of me at all. I think he didn't strike me like that. If I told him, yeah, I knew you were coming. But I didn't tell him that because sometimes I just shy away from that, The spring break of But she's a beautiful girl. And she was only, what did they say, 20? So she was only a kid. And it hurts my feelings that she's missing, of course. But I think stories like these, of course, when you go to outside of the US, you have to make sure that you stay with your group. You'll be fine anywhere you go, as long as you stay with your family and friends. And maybe she just got a little bit too excited because it's spring break, and when you're 20, come on, you don't think you're going to be dead. You kind of think you're invincible. You probably think nothing can happen to you in so many different ways. You're not that cautious. Her parents didn't know she was going. I'm getting the feeling that they were pretty strict Indian parents, which is typical. Most Indian parents are strict, and you don't want to tell your parents you're going on a crazy, get drunk party and on your spring break. It's not something that's easy to say in an Indian family. And I for sure think he sex trafficked her. And I don't think they're going to find her body because she's been a victim of human trafficking. Like many girls who are in Dominican Republic or visit Dominican Republic, you are at risk for trafficking if you are not careful anywhere you go. Not even just Dominican Republic, because Dominicans are awesome people. I know they're amazing people. They're wonderful people. If you get on their good side, I guess. And I'm always on the good side, so of the people I know who are. So they are my trusted friends, Dominicans, Colombians, Puerto Ricans, Hispanics, different, even Mexicans and Peruvians. I grew up with awesome Peruvian friends, so I've had some delicious Peruvian food. I know I love Peruvian food. And I like all kinds of different food. But anyways, you have to be so careful because when you're beautiful like her, you could be trafficked anywhere, not even just Dominican Republic. This should not scare you from Dominican Republic. You should feel safe going. You'll be fine. Stay in your group. Stay with your family and friends. This should not scare you. It's nothing creepy about the resort she stayed in. It's a beautiful resort. And I would feel comfortable staying in the same resort as long as I have my group with me. I'm fine. I wouldn't even be scared. But you have to consider all the factors that come in when you're traveling. Even in India, of course, girls get sex trafficked there too, and you can get trafficked anywhere in the U.S. Sex trafficking is, someone said it on something, it's like a $560 billion business. So there's girls all over the world getting trafficked, So when you're attractive, you have to be more careful. And I think he spiked her drink from watching the video. And he's playing it. He's trying to put on, he's pretending like he didn't do anything. And that's why he's so irritating for me, because he's a liar. He's pretending this. You pretend to save someone's life. That really angers me. If you saved her life, why is she dead? You have some explaining to do. And no, her parents are foreign. They're less experienced, I think. Her parents come off to me as very gullible and foreign. They have no idea how anything in the U.S. works. They haven't been in the U.S. They seem so Indian, innocent, cute. Her parents are adorable, like she is. Beautiful parents. Beautiful mom. She looks like mom and dad both. It's just that I feel like they're buying into his story. And I don't believe anything he has to say, because sex trafficking is a huge business and people want to make money. And he received money from her on the Venmo. I'm pretty sure there's other sources he's getting money from her now. And she's stuck in human trafficking. And she's an innocent baby girl. She's never been in something like that before. And he's making money off of her along with other people. And I think it's hell for her in that, because she's Indian. And when you're Indian, people treat you pretty badly. I think a lot of times as a foreigner, but in the sex trafficking world, that has to be hell for an Indian girl because usually Indian women are very chastised, or I don't know the word. What do you say? They're very they're not sexual beings. They're educated, you know. And so and a lot of Indian women have such high standards. So it makes it worse for her to be in something like human trafficking because of the reputation that Indian women have, and just have, and for freaks to have their hands on her, like, it's, she could still survive. I don't think they would necessarily kill her. Dominican people are actually decent people. They're just very horny. And so yeah, you can meet the wrong ones, but they're not, I don't think they're particularly violent. Not not really, you know? Not when you're a beautiful girl. So drinking some water. So you have to consider what's Dominican people, they I think he and more than one guy sexually assaulted her, if I'm allowed to say that word. Essayed her, and um they spiked her drink because there's no way she would have been that drunk, and they drugged her because in a blink, so quickly it can happen that your drink is spiked, you are knocked out, the drugs hit your system. The drugs they give you for human trafficking, I'm assuming that they're powerful drugs that knock you out instantly, and then one man could pick her up easily. She's tiny, and one man could have carried her to the truck and thrown her right in. That's what I see. That's the narrative that I imagine happened. And some of her bathing suit was left behind to make it look like she drowned. I don't think she drowned, because beautiful women, you do not die so easily. It's not, you know, men don't want us dead. They typically want to rape us and torture us, you know, at the worst. They don't kill us so quickly, you know. So I think she's still alive, and I think that her drink was spiked. They gave her some more drugs, some different kinds of drugs to totally knock her out, and so they could take her to a truck and put her body into the truck, and then they put her on a boat and took her across to a different country. And you have to be, yeah, they have the Indian team looking for her, but I think typically they take women like this, and she's a perfect candidate for something like that. She's young, and she could be in Algeria right now, where she could be across the water. There's Dominican Republic, and right across the water, there's Algeria. I see, you know, and on a boat. Those boats, cruise ships, women who have been human trafficked are on those cruise ships. I've talked to human trafficking survivors who chose me to talk to without me asking. People confide in me a lot. And, you know, when they take you, they love to take you on a boat, because at sea you're isolated. There's lack of police on the water. You're on the water, you're on the boat. And if you're on a cruise, you have to be careful too, because someone could snatch you up and you get sex trafficked on a cruise. There's people that go missing on cruises when they're not in their group. You have to stay in your group on a cruise too. And make sure you don't go outside of your room by yourself when you're an attractive woman, because somebody can snatch you in another room so quickly and you're missing, you know. So I'm not buying his story, because when criminals kill someone and know that they're guilty, they love to make up the hero scenario. I saved her life. I saved your daughter's life. Well, shit, if you saved her, where the hell is she? And I would be going off on him. There's no way he would get a hug out of me. If you saved her, where is she? You gotta fucking explain that shit. He's ridiculous to say. And I think he looks very dishonest. He looks very mischievous to me in pictures. He looks like, to himself, he thinks this is so funny. He's laughing. He's making money off of him in a deal. Because I'm assuming, I wouldn't know, of course, but I think traffickers, they get into a deal and they share money. But I guess you have a main trafficker, which would be him. And I'm pretty sure after she was drugged, he had sex with him and someone else. But your main trafficker must make the majority of your money, or if not all. I wouldn't know. I'm not in the trafficking business, of course. So this is ridiculous. That I think he didn't give a crap about her, because he's American, and when Indians come from India, even if Indians were born in the U.S., many Indians born in the U.S., you still get thought of or viewed as taking all the good jobs. You shouldn't be here. Americans are more deserving of those jobs. And, so I don't think he gave a crap about her. I think he was racist. He's pretending to be the good guy so he doesn't seem like the bad guy. And he's guilty. And she's so innocent and cute. I mean, she looks to me like was not even experienced with sex like that. I don't think so. And maybe they can find her, but I think they can check other countries, because I think human traffickers, they take their victims to other countries. And then I doubt that they keep the same name, because that would make her easy to find. By now, they could have given her some stripper name and branded her. They put tattoos on their victims, or brandings. And I think all races of men probably would buy sex, would love to buy sex with a beautiful woman. But I did hear someone say, it was a white woman say, that most of the buyers are middle-aged married white men with kids. I believe her. I think she's honest. But like, because they have the money to throw away like that. So the majority of them are, and then some of them are different race. But I think they should have kept on with the search. Maybe they stopped the search in shame of not wanting the family to look bad, bringing shame on their family, dishonorable. And they need to find her, because she's in hell, and too many people have these particular feelings toward Indians, and they're so angry at Indians, and they're going to take it out on one girl, I'm pretty sure she's heard too much shit by now about Indians. Like, how come you never date other race people? I'm sure I would be so tired of all that if I was her. All those questions the men ask. How come you never date? Why is India like this? How come you don't ever date outside of your race? Why are you racist? If you're and then being accused of racism, and you're a victim of human trafficking, that has to be hell, because now you have to sex your heights. Now you have to be raped and do all this disgusting stuff just to prove that you're not the racist that is the stereotype, And it's not your job to prove to everyone that you are not the racist and, oh, not all Indians are racist. You shouldn't have to do all that. You know, people with their stereotypes, they can go to hell. It's none of their business. They're so nosy. When your beautiful people are nosy, they have to know everything. Why are you dating this guy? Why are you not dating? Why are you who are you? Why are you vegan? Why are you vegetarian? They're all in your business. Oh my God. They drive you nuts. And you literally scream like as hard as you can sometimes because you are stressed out. People will make you crazy. And you need to see a therapist. So somebody like, and you're not even crazy. People will make you feel like that when you're attractive because they are all in your business 24/7, caring about, oh, did you know your pinky toe broke? Oh, thank you, stupid. You know, like they have to notice every tiny detail about you and make you crazy like that. And sometimes you get in an argument with girls because they can't catch their life. They can't get their life, you know. But and even men, they're all in your business. Men you don't even know on your Facebook. Oh, I saw that one thing you said about black men. Oh, what did I say, bitch? Because I don't remember. But you hanging off my words, you need to get a damn job. You know, like they just have nothing to do. And I told him, I said, well, I don't remember what I said. I'm not apologizing. And you need to get a life, a whole life, because I don't know why you care about it. Why I know why you care, because I'm a cute girl, and that's how people do you when you are attractive. They gotta hang off all your words, and they have to decide how they feel about everything you did or look the way you looked that day, the dress you had on, what you said. It's a nightmare, and you don't get a break, you know, and when you're human trafficked, I would imagine you are so tired of people. You are exhausted. You wake up, you're on drugs, you're taken on a boat in the middle of nowhere while drugged. In between being drugged, you're in and out of it. You wake up and you're in and out of it. When you're in it and you come back in your consciousness, you see these men you never seen on top of you, and you're sick to your stomach. You're nauseous. You're nauseous not only because they took your purity, but you're on a boat. You're a little bit seasick. You could be on a boat for days because that's the typical thing. Traffickers love boats that isolate you from police force. There's no. Have you ever seen anything called a police boat? Not really. See, that's why traffickers like to put you on a boat. You don't really see police boats. Excuse me, you're driving your boat the wrong way. You're gonna have to. I'm gonna give you a ticket. You don't see that. You don't see that shit. And that's why traffickers, they do this type of shit, you know, and they outsmarted people, and it's terrible, you know. And it works because there's lack of legal enforcement on the water, and you can keep a woman days on the water. Her vagina's got to be, her whole body could probably actually be hurting, not even just that one part. But I feel bad for her because she's a beautiful girl. And then by the time she gets to her destination, which I think she should be there by now, or, you know, and they have a person there in a new country where most people don't speak her language. It's Arabic language in Algeria. And, you know, she is going to have to find her way through that. And they can move a person so quickly from one. If they're in Algeria, they could pull them and get them back on the water. That's why they're so hard to find. The victims are hard to find because the traffickers are watching the news. I think Joshua, of course, is watching the news and trying to figure out how he can cover up his tracks, you know? I'm going to make a story that I saved her life, a bullshit story, and then people are buying it. And I'm not buying it. I don't think he's innocent like that. He needs to go to jail. He's a privileged brat who thinks he comes off to me like this. He comes off to me like he's a privileged brat. All his life he's been able to do anything at all that he wants. And he feels like he can get away with anything. And this story is making him feel even more like that. He feels like, I'm a white man. I can do anything. I'm on top of the world. Yeah, he likes that. And he needs to be prosecuted. He does not need to get away with this. This is not fair. This is someone's daughter. And she has her family that was looking forward to seeing her. Of course, she's only 20 years old. And yeah, it was really sad for me to see her mom and her parents look so sad. And, you know, you want to see your daughter again. And sometimes you can find the human trafficking survivors. Sometimes that happens, but usually it takes a while. But it's possible to find her. I just think they're going to have to look in other countries. Because women, different stories like this, similar to this, what was her name? Jennifer Casey? I think it was Jennifer Casey. Yeah, Jennifer Casey. She was missing from Florida, and she's a beautiful girl too. And I feel like she was sex trafficked. And sex traffickers, they take their victims to different countries, to private islands. And even I've been invited out to a private island by a white male that I don't know. And you have to always, even if it's embarrassing to you, you should never be too embarrassed to tell your family. I ran it by my family. Everyone was like, no, you're not going anywhere. Like, unless we come with you, or if you bring a cop friend. Yeah, I know cops. I'm friends with cops. You know, like, you can go anywhere in a group, but he invited me out by myself. He's this white male who reminds me of, like, what's the name? Jeffrey Epstein guy. He totally reminds me of that. He's in Florida. He's got his own private island, private jet. And he's like, you can get on my private jet. Ready to feed me, probably laced meals and water. They don't just lace your food anymore. They lace your water. You have to be more careful. And, this is a very friendly guy, you know, like, never think that friendly people can't change on you. Don't think like that. He's such a friendly man. And for Christmas and my birthday, he's gotten me gifts. I haven't touched him. We don't have sex at all. Nothing. No kissing, nothing. But the people who are so friendly and helpful, yeah, they can turn on you. Don't act like they can't. Do not think nice people can't do really horrible things. You know? Because this is a man where money is no issue to him. He can send me, oh, here's $2,000 for Christmas, honey. You know, I can send it right to your electronic payment, you know, online, so that I get it instantly. And, you know, when you're beautiful, or even if you don't feel beautiful, you can still be targeted, because people are always into a girl. You're a girl, someone's always into that look. No matter how you look, don't think it can't happen to you is all I'm saying. Because don't think that, oh, if you don't look like her or me, that it can't happen. Because I've seen some women who I didn't think necessarily fit the description of someone who would be trafficked. Yeah, they've been trafficked too. I've seen a lot of different women, not just white women, different white women have told me their survival stories. I was glad that they survived. You know, I like to hear about the survival stories. You know, those are really interesting. But it's sad. It's not, and you should not be scared to do anything because in any part of the world, this can happen in any state. I've heard it happening from any state in the U.S. And they say things like, oh, Florida is #1 sex trafficking. You should not be scared like that. Yes, it's on the list, but I've heard a lot of women who've been trafficked in Detroit, Michigan. White women in Detroit, you know? And it's all over the world. Look at how much money they make, $560 billion. It's global. It's a global problem. So you have to be paranoid. You have to be super paranoid. People live longer. If somebody you don't know him, she shouldn't have met up with this guy, of course. But you can meet strangers if you're kind of psychic enough, because I've met up, men who look white, but they're from Greece. I prefer the Greek community over the white community. I'm not saying all white people are bad. I've known white people. I've met white strangers. But guess what? I was born psychic. That's totally different. I've met white strangers online. I'm still alive. Nothing ever happened to me because I was a psychic baby and I kind of never lost that gift. So, I think you will be totally fine. You just have to have an instinct if you're going to meet strangers. If you don't have an instinct, run it by someone who does. Please. God, we would like to save you. We would like to see you. And even one of my white girlfriends who used to look like Adele, remember the Adele singer, Adele, her name? And when Adele was chubby, that's how our white girlfriend looked, me and my friend from church. I don't talk about this because I don't like to. It makes me sad. But I'll briefly say what happened. She married a black guy. This does not mean, it should not mean all black guys are bad. I know that. But black men, sometimes, yeah, they do have a race problem, and sometimes they murder their even mixed race wife. So he married her, and she asked me, she said, how do you feel about my husband? I just met this black man who you said was your husband. I said, he's creepy. He's scary for me. I don't like his energy. I think he's dangerous to you. You should not marry him. I feel like he's going to do something terrible. And I just told her my total honest opinion of him, like as if she were my own relative. Same thing I do to my sister, my family members, my sisters, my brothers, and my other relatives. And I told her, just don't do it. I feel like it's dangerous for you. And she, I'm not saying she should have listened to me, but I wanted her to because she would have been alive. I was right. I was right on the money. He killed her. He stabbed her to death. He stalked her. And we don't get to see her again. And we used to hang out with her all the time. I would do her makeup, and it was fun. And she was a really nice white girl. She wasn't ghetto at all. She was very sweet. And she was just too trusting, And that was in Detroit, Michigan. And, you need to listen to your friends who care about you, When we tell you we have a bad energy feeling about someone, we are serious, Because I don't know that many black people at all. And the ones I know are mixed. They're half, maybe a quarter black. I know mostly mixed black people, And the mixed community is totally different from the black community, I think. Her husband was totally black. I know he was full black. And he was very polite and everything. People think they can hide being polite. Just because you're polite, I can see right through that. I feel like you're a serial killer, you know? It's nothing he could do to hide his energy and his aura from me. And I even told my friend from church, I don't even really want to be around too much because he's so creepy. You know, he's got that. And he enters a room, even if he's not there and he's been there earlier that day, you can just feel that trash in the air because of him. And there's black men who have wonderful aura. It's just not him. You know? It's not him at all. It's black men who have amazing energy. Like you're around them and you're like, wow, this is a great black man. You know, and you tell your friends, yeah, this is a great black man. I like his energy. You tell your family, you know, or friends that. And I picked out my other friends from private Christian college. I picked her black husband out for her. She's still alive. She's fine. You know, like I'm good at picking. It just makes me angry that one of my friends was murdered, of course. Kind of. Of course. But you can't always control everything. I want to control things. I wanted to pick her man for her. Here's a black guy. And I know a black guy. That's a good black guy. And I picked out her black guy, the other girl. And I didn't know him at all. I don't need to know you. I feel your energy, you know? And they have kids together and everything. They're a happy couple. But, you know, I would still like to get paid for something like this because it would be a cool job, something I kind of enjoy doing. I don't just want to do to help for nothing, but I used to help for free, of course, stuff like that, and I helped her for free. And sometimes people just don't take you seriously, you know. But my family that grew up with me, they're like, oh yeah, she's psychic. They know me. You know, they're like, oh, she's not even lying to you. You better listen when she says she feels or sees something. It's about to happen, you know, or whatever. So, but I hope they find her. I would like them to reopen this search for her. Get some more people involved, and the people who find her might not even be Indian necessarily, because unless they're maybe not wanting to hold on to the shame thing, like there's enough people that seem to care about this case. She could be found by Americans, you know, anyone, but I want them to keep looking for her. She's a cute girl. And people don't like that look like this, they don't typically get murdered so easily. I don't think so. You get human trafficked, if anything. Alright. Talk to you guys later.